Hi, my name is Norma Jordan, and I am a candidate for the Masters of Educational Technology at Boise State University. I am currently a principal at a small Native American private school in southeast Idaho that serves children from the Shoshone-Bannock Indian Reservation. I first became interested in technology in 2001 when I took a class through the Albertsons Foundation called Teaching with Technology. I started to write grants where I received all kinds of technology equipment for my classroom, which just enhanced what I had learned and enabled me to begin teaching these students with technology. I saw behavior problems disappear completely when I started using technology. It was the most amazing thing to me, and it continued to be a passion for me. From the time in 2001 till 2010 when I entered the College of Educational Technology at Boise State University, I was searching for a master's program that I felt would meet the requirements that I wanted for myself, the goals that I had for myself as far as technology and learning. When I came upon the program, I felt that it really met the needs that I had and the wants that I had as far as learning. So in 2010, I entered the program. At that point in time, I decided not to work, and I have been going full-time since 2010 to be able to complete this program. I am really excited that I'm finally at the end. I have learned so much, and hoping that this portfolio will be able to show you what I have learned and how I have grown in the program. The first project that I wanted to share in my portfolio was my Educational Technology 502, the Internet for Educators. Coming into the program at Boise State, this is something that I really wanted to learn how to do. I had a goal for myself to be able to write HTML code and CSS. This Netiquette page was the first page that I created. As you see, it's very plain, very simple. The colors aren't really too in-depth. I was just so excited to be able to get something to float to the right. And so this shows where I started at the beginning. My jigsaw activity was one of those projects that I created about in the middle of this class. I felt like this was a lot more professional looking, and I really enjoyed the colors that I used for this project. I learned to use Adobe Cooler to help me be able to pick colors that looked good together. And so this was the second project that I wanted to show, just really quick, learning how to make graphs and learning how to make professional looking pages so that they could be used by others. I did not have a class when I created these projects, and that was one thing that was a little more difficult. So I tried really hard to create my projects on things that I had taught in the past and things that I knew there was a good chance I would teach in the future. And so this specific activity was created on the parts of speech, and I'm hoping soon that I will actually get to use this with some of my students. The last project that I really wanted to show you, and the one that I am most proud of, is my Salem Witch Trials web quest. It was really interesting to be able to do research, to be able to find valid information on the web that I could link to this page so that I could help the students understand more about Salem at the time. I tried really hard to set this up as if these students were there at the time, and so you'll notice in the introduction it says you are a teenager living in the town of Salem, Massachusetts, your friend Betsy Paris. So I really wanted students to put themselves in the place of these girls and why they may have responded the way they did. So during this process, the students look at the Puritan children, the Puritan religion, economic and social divisions, the different people that lived there, those that were afflicted, the ages of the afflicted, the ones that were accused. All of these things lead them to the conclusion where they have to create a final project on what they have discovered as they have researched these different things, and they have to come up why they think that this happened. What is their theory as to why the social divisions may have played a part in the witch trials. This, I was really, really proud of this, and again, history happens to be one of those subjects that I'm passionate about. So I hope I have been able to teach Salem witch trials in the past, and I hope that in the future I will get to teach this and that I will get to use what I have created here for that class. The second project that I really, really wanted to share was my final instructional design project from Educational Technology 503. The students for this project had to create an avatar invokee to present 3 interesting facts about themselves. When I was preparing and getting this lesson ready, I did not have a class at the time, and so I went to a friend of mine and used her class for this project. The most fascinating part of this project for me was the needs assessment. I had bad practices in the past that I didn't even know were bad practices until I started this class. But I learned a lot about needs assessments, and this is what really was fascinating for me. I went into the classroom of these about 25 8th grade students. I went into the classroom with my assumptions of what it is that they had at home, what it was that they needed. And the needs assessment the results from the needs assessment ended up being not completely different, but very different than what I had originally thought. This was such a great learning experience for me because it really taught me that I really do need to go to the users to find out exactly what it is that they need, and I need to be careful to make assumptions because assumptions, just when you come from a different background, you might have an assumption that is incorrect. And so I was really excited. This was pretty much my first real needs assessment that I had ever done. The next part that really was interesting to me in this was down here with the objectives matrix table. In preparing this lesson, the professor made sure that we understood we had to create it as if we were not the teachers. We needed to create this for anyone so that anyone could be able to teach it. I had no idea how much time and energy and thought went into curriculum design. When I picked this topic, I thought, oh, this is going to be so easy. It's going to just come out perfectly. Oh, I know exactly what I want the teachers to do. But when it came to me having to break things into categories and me having to describe to someone else exactly what it is that I wanted to do, I realized that there are a lot of teachers that might not have the knowledge about computers and that they might need that background before they could even teach this lesson. So it was really fascinating to me to have to break things up for someone else and to have to prepare as if it wasn't for myself. And so it was really exciting, and I really enjoyed this project, and I just wanted to share it with you because it's one of those projects that I felt really stretched to my knowledge and made me feel really, really uncomfortable because I wasn't sure that I was doing it correctly, but that in the end ended up being a great success, and I felt very proud of this project at its completion. The last class that I really wanted to share as part of my portfolio was my online course design from Educational Technology 512. I wanted to share the final project that I created. I was really proud of this specific project because I felt like I was able to take information that I had learned from 502, of course, to build websites. Then I was able to take what I learned from 503 in being careful and making sure I looked at the needs of the students. I was able to take what I learned from 506 and I was able to actually create visuals so that students could actually have something to look at so that they would know where the course was kind of headed. I was excited that I was able to use CARP and create a little visual for each and every module. It was nice for me to be able to look out into the world and find resources that I could use so that I could teach students how to study using the tools that they have, using the technology that they have available to them. I was able to create rubrics so that they would have something to follow, so that they would know how I was grading things. And so this just, I felt really stretched my knowledge. It was one of those classes that I felt uncomfortable with, but also one that I was very proud at the final outcome. And I wanted to share this because I felt like it really showed not just what I had learned from one class, but what I had learned from many classes, and what I was able to actually put together for students because of everything that I have gained from the program at Boise State University. But looking on to the future, now that I do have this job as a principal of a Native American private school, I can see how I'm going to be able to take all the information that I have and use it right here in my current setting. The students that I work with are largely impacted by the digital divide. I can honestly say that probably less than 10% of the current students that I have access to internet and a computer at home, if that. That's probably a high percentage. And so we are really faced with this problem of how do I provide these students with the same education so that they can be competitive in this world when they don't have access to the same tools. And so looking forward, I am really excited about my current position. I look at it and I see that it will be a really exciting challenge for me. Already in the couple months, I've only been here since February, in the couple months that I have been here, I have tried to really implement more technology into the students' learning. Next year, I'm currently writing grants and new technology curriculum that's all online, and also more computers and more access to iPads and things like that, so that I can give the students that we have here as much exposure to these tools as possible. I hope that I might be able to take the information that I've gained and what I missed out on by not having a class at the time. I hope that I might be able to make up for as I move into this new job that I have, and as I work with and help these students and work towards bridging the divide. I hope that I might be able to gain all it is that I see that other students were able to have by having a class. Hopefully I'll be able to make up for that in my knowledge and understanding as I work in this position. Really quickly, I want to say how grateful I am to all the professors and all of the peers that I worked with during the last 2 years. I have gained so much, and I have grown more than I ever imagined. Thank you so much again for your time, for your support, and for all that you have given me. Thank you.